All right, let me pull out the chat. Okay. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. And today is our 16th final. So day 3 of the knockout stage. And before we get into our games today, let's thank our sponsors as usual, which is BNB Chain, Spirit Master, BioScene, and Zooming Finance. Alright, that's it for the introduction. And let's go straight into today's games. Okay, and there is already a live game going on between SCP 166 versus 𝙏𝙧𝙪𝙩𝙪. And that is a level 5 lava ball. Okay. Level 5 lava ball and a level 5 skull breaker. The level 5 deer sage. Both of them play Inferno Butcher and kill each other. Hello, hello, hello. So it's looking good on SCP. The War Assault, this looks like a level 5. Yes, this is a level 5 War Assault. So it was looking good for SCP until last turn. Now it's looking good for 𝙏𝙧𝙪𝙩𝙪. And the bamboos also spawn very nicely. One at the top and one at the bottom. Protecting the Inferno Butcher with the War Assault, so placing it behind the War Assault. Everything is looking good for 𝙏𝙧𝙪𝙩𝙪. The only unfortunate part is probably that SCP didn't play any creature last turn. But Inferno Butcher still got that 5 damage in last turn. But we can see it's 8 mana right now, so Evil Flame might one-shot here, even though we already see there's no Evil Flame. And Mastering Seclusion trying to sweep the bamboo away. And dish 3 more damage in here. And SCP knew that he wouldn't die. So as long as he doesn't die, can wait for Evil Flame, but since he just automatically surrendered, we know that the last card he drew was not Evil Flame. Alright. So in the first game, everything looks like SCP is running Evil Flame, but he could not get his Evil Flame on time. And there's also 700 bell power difference to notice. Alright, and here we see SCP changing into another deck, which is in blue avatar, but has around 200 more bell power, and is running the classic Infernal Pirate combination. And burning the Firestorm for the level 4 Reaper of Despair. You can see he has a lava ball in his hand, which is also level 4. And the lava ball is strong enough to get that damage in. And the Evil Eyes. The Evil Eyes discard card effect is debut, so he discarded the card before the Reaper of Despair's the order is before Reaper of Despair's effect, so it made SCP 0 cards in hand and that buffed the Reaper. But that Reaper was swept back by Mastering Seclusion. But SCP is not going to play the Reaper again here. He is going to play the level 3 Thunder Inferno, trying to get that face damage in. And he draws into Falling Shard, and he's going to play that Falling Shard to, let's see, level 5. So that's 16 damage in, but 2 of them are being blocked by the creature, so that's 14 damage in. And Fat Tiger is now down to 5 HP, and SCP has 2 more cards in hand, even though we know one of them is Reaper. But there is a very good chance that the other one is going to be a spell damage card. Like, yes, like Falling Star. And that is very well played by SCP here. Knowing that he doesn't need to play the Reaper again when it got swept back by Mastering Seclusion. He knows that he just need to basically deal as much damage as possible before Fat Tiger kills him, because Fat Tiger seems to be running more creatures such as Warsaw and the Bamboo Forest. So there's a lot of creatures at this much more than his traditional Infernal Pirate deck. So SCP can be the one that's more aggressive in this match, even though both of them are Infernal. Okay. According to the HP, it looks like SCP played a Lava Ball, and that Lava Ball successfully hit the face. And SCP play Layla by burning a card, which is Reaper of Despair. And Fat Tiger burned his Mastering Seclusion. So it's looking a little bit better for Fat Tiger now, since both of them got around the same HP, but Fat Tiger got Infernal Butcher on the board right now. But Layla did give SCP 2 spell cards, so Fat Tiger kind of knew SCP is going for the bot row, so he played Infernal Butcher bot row to block the damage, which is 2 level 5. Yes, 2 level 5 Flaming Ball and a level 4 Layla Fireball. Even though Layla is level 3, it does give level 4 Fireball. So that did block a lot of damage, but SCP still has Falling Star in his hand, and that is able to deal again 14 damage. So that's 4 more damage than 2 Infernal Butchers. So Fat Tiger's HP is now 7 lower than SCP here. And Fat Tiger is going to play Rising Up here. And SCP does have that 1 more Falling Star. And that's exactly enough damage to kill Fat Tiger here. And that is probably the best play that we can see from SCP here, because Fat Tiger is already running the legendary avatar, so there is no more he can gain um any more starting HP. 38 starting HP is already the max you could get at this before the nerf. There is actually a nerf on the avatar HP, because legendary avatar used to have 40 HP, I believe. So now it's being nerfed to 38, so maybe if it's before the nerf, Fat Tiger had a chance, but after the nerf, everything is looking good for Inferno. Yes, he's very fast, which is what he's supposed to do because he's running the Inferno Pirate, which is obviously an aggro deck. But it seems like he's playing Bully, and it's a level 2 Bully here with a level 4 Facebreaker, so that looks like a lot of creatures. And Fat Tiger is looking for the Bamboo Forest. And he also burned the Rising Up because he thinks Rising Up is kind of too late to play since it's 6 mana. It might not save him. So Fat Tiger is trying to fill up the board here with all the bamboos, even though they don't add up to a decent amount of board damage, which as we can see, all of them has 1 attack, so that adds up to 6 attack, but they do have a lot of HP to tank all the spell cards from SCP. Alright, SCP is going to play Bully again here. But Fat Tiger has that Devouring Grudge. That's also a level 5 Devouring Grudge. And Facebreaker will not be able to penetrate through the Devouring Grudge here. But SCP did run a Blood Pool in his deck and it successfully survived in the last turn. So that drew a card for SCP. So now we know there is a Facebreaker and a Bully and 2 cards that he just drew. One by the Blood Pool and one naturally. But Fat Tiger has level 4 Pixie here. That is going to penetrate through both Bully and the Facebreaker. Yes, demons are very good for the tournament for sure. Alright, and it looks like Fat Tiger is able to get that second win that he has been looking for since the first game here. So it's actually the first win that Fat Tiger got from SCP after SCP changed his deck. So now both of them are 2-2 and is going for the last game. It's the match point for both of them. Alright, and this is going to be a last game. Okay, so turn 2. That Tiger is going for the Evil Eyes play. And SCP is going for the Infernal Swordsman. So it's looking better for SCP here. Because Evil Eyes only has 2 damage while the Swordsman has 6. But unfortunately, the Sailor didn't spawn in front of the Swordsman, otherwise it would be a nice trade for SCP. So the Bully is not doing the work here, while the Bamboos are. So it's looking good on the Bamboo side right now. Alright, and this is turn 4, and we do know Fat Tiger is running 2 Bamboo Forests, so there might be another Bamboo Forest being played here. While SCP is running a lot of cards that he might be playing. And surprisingly, it's not a spell card. It's a level 4 Reaper, which is looking quite good. And this is what SCP needs right now because the tree is going to block 32 damage in the bot row while giving Fat Tiger the healing fruit. But the healing fruit is not going to work here because of Reaper of Despair. Alright, it looks like SCP is going to look for his victory on the top and mid row because bot row is kind of stuck due to this 32 HP level 5 tree. And the Bully and his Sailor, even though both of them died, they did successfully save the Reaper. So the Reaper is still on board here. It makes Fat Tiger suffer from not being able to use the healing fruit. And I believe Fat Tiger is trying to save the healing fruit here. So Fat Tiger is trying to deal with the Reaper. And after he's done with the Reaper, he's going to cast the healing fruit here. So I believe now Fat Tiger has 3 healing fruits in his hand. And if SCP, there's 3 cards. So if there's no Reaper in his hand right now, it might be a big problem for him. And as we can see, each healing fruit gives Fat Tiger 10 HP. And Fat Tiger casted 2 that made him um heal back up all the way to 38 from 18, and that is too much for SCP, both in terms of HP and board damage. Alright, and that's this 3-2 intense fight between Fat Tiger and SCP. Alright, both of them did change stacks, so I think they already gave all they had. And congratulations on Fat Tiger for advancing into the top 16. Alright, and there's 2 live games going on. And this one's looking quite interesting because Hawk is beating up Bone when he has 700, actually around 800 last bell power. So we'll check back about the first game after we finish this second game. Yeah, at this you made it into the knockout stage. That's not too bad. Knockout stage is guaranteed with 40 BUSD, I believe. You wanna watch I believe that a Darken is a typo and you meant Draken. So yes, if you meant Draken, we can check out Draken's game after Bone's game. Okay, interesting. This is a level 5 Moonlight Sacrifice. That's 18 HP. Alright. So Bone is running the Moonlight Sacrifice for countering the aggro decks. This is his solution to the aggro deck. And Hawk is trying to make sure Bone doesn't heal too much because he is running the Rough Rock Pirate deck, which is probably the unlimited portrait kind of playing style. And even though the Happy Space got stealed by Bone, Night Assault, a level 4 Night Assault, and a level 5 Magic Storm. Yes, and a level 5 Magic Storm is able to clear the board here. And Hawk is going to play the Tyrant here, trying to finish up the game. Probably because he sees this Vampire. And the Tyrant is being a traitor here and killing all the rats that Hawk has. Okay, so even though Hawk is still able to maintain the board here, he did kill his 2 own fat rat. And that's looking very bad for him because if the Vampire is being played this turn and steals the Tyrant, then everything is going to be looking good for Bone. So I believe Hulk will try to finish the game in this round, while Bone probably knows that as well, so Bone will try his best to survive this turn. And despite this Vampire, both of them have 3 cards that we can't really see. But even if Hulk has Portrait here, I believe he will not try to play Portrait here. He is probably trying to play more aggressive here. And yes, as we can see, he's playing 2 Burrowing Badger. Both of them are level 4 Burrowing Badger. That's going to deal 3+4, so 7 damage. And the Tyrant was killed by the, I think, Force Hunting? Yes, Force Hunting. The level 4 Force Hunting, and it was played with Mila, so that means Bone has 1 more Force Hunting in his hand. And he also has 11 mana, so if he burns 1 card, that's 12 mana. Or okay, as we can see, Force Hunting is being played here. And the Silence Professor is going to silence the Fat Rat on the back line. But the Professor is going to die this turn. But a field defense is also being played here, even though it was kind of unfortunate that none of the farmers got summoned into the mid row, and there is a level 5 potential motivation. I think it's this potential motivation is probably in Hawk's hand, probably a couple rounds ago, but he didn't want to play this card because it is not a very aggressive card, and being aggro is what Hawk is trying to do here. So even though he doesn't want to play Portrait here, uh, he has to because Portrait is at least more aggro than potential motivation here. And Bone has another Magic Break Professor, and that is going to silence the Piggy on the bot row. There's no HP gain from Hawk, but I think that's not a problem. And Bone casted another field defense. Alright, and it's the last 3 rounds. So now it's a big problem for Bone because Bone needs to get Hawk's HP lower than himself in the next 3 turns. So it's not really a problem for Hawk anymore that he can't really kill Bone. It's now Bone's problem to lower Hawk's HP. So we do see Hawk is already, I would say basically out of cards, but it's still looking good on Hawk's side because even though Bone has a lot of cards, there's only 2 more turns and it's impossible for Bone to play all these cards. While Hawk still has way much more HP as well as the potential motivation in his hand, which is 30 HP. And since Bone is running Empire and Academy, so there's no demon cards such as 𝙂𝙖𝙢𝙪𝙩𝙪 to discard this potential motivation. And there's no cards like Reaper of Despair to stop Hawk from healing. Alright, and here we go. This is the last round. I believe Hawk is going to play potential motivation here, or maybe 2 portraits. Alright, and it looks like it's potential motivation instead of 2 portraits. Alright, 30 HP. And that is a GG. Oh, and the Nine Assault is also doing very well. Actually killed the most threatening creature that Bone has on the board, even though it doesn't really matter. Alright, even if there is one more creature here, it's not going to save Bone. So that's a 2-0. And as we can see, Bone did change his stack after the first game, even though it's still Empire and Academy, but it has slight 180 build power higher, so around 200. Alright, and as we can see here, I believe Hawk play level 5 Fat Rat Feast, and Bone play the Magic Break Professor. That's what they play in the first turn, and the Professor silenced the first Fat Rat. Okay. And Hawk is trying to clear the board here, so he played the Ocean Storm. But unfortunately, Bone played the Hoary Root, and the flower is going to survive this round due to the Shroud. So maybe the Burrowing Badger was a better play last turn. Yes, as we can see, Hawk also had a Behemoth Hunter. If this Behemoth Hunter wasn't drawn last turn, then if he had Burrowing Badger, Behemoth Hunter, and Ocean Storm, uh, knowing or kind of predicting that Bone is going to play Hoary Root, then maybe Burrowing Badger into Behemoth Hunter would be a better play. But there's still a chance for the Hawk to take down the Hoary Root here with the Behemoth Hunter if he can come up with an AoE skill or just a straight line such as let's see, or maybe like Night Assault or any cards that can try to make sure Behemoth Hunter actually attack the Hoary Root. But we can see Bone has a level 5 Holy Punishment in hand, so if Bone really wants, he can cast the Holy Punishment on the bot row to make sure that the Hoary Root can survive here, because there's no really hexproof or sharp creatures in Pirate and Rough Rock. So if Bone wants to make sure Hoary Root can survive this turn, he's going to do that, and that's exactly what Bone did. So smart play for protecting the Hoary Root. And Hawk played a Fat Rat Feast. Alright, and now Hawk has 1 card in his hand while Bone has 3. And Hawk's HP is also lower than Bone, so it's looking really bad for Hawk here. Unless Hawk can come up with something to kill the Hoary Root. Otherwise, this Hoary Root is going to kill Hawk in 2 turns. And Bone is going to play a Phantom Bear here this turn to make sure that Hoary Root can survive 1 more turn and gain his HP back to 8. And even though Hawk played nothing, so the Phantom Bear just died, but that was still a good play from Bone, and that made Hoary Root's HP heal back up to 8. But Hawk is able to lower Bone's HP to 23 here, and there's 15 damage on the top row. So Bone kind of wanted to stop a little bit of the damage coming from the top row, so he played a Hoary Root top row, and Hulk play a Gorilla here, knowing that Gorilla can still kill the 8 HP Hoary Root because it has 10 attack, and Bone was on the side that has lower creatures in terms of amounts, and that was very well played by Hawk, I would say, because um there is still a good chance that Bone could play something in front of the Hoary Root, such as Phantom Bear, or stuff like Holy Punishment that Bone would just straight up cast in the bar row to make sure that his Hoary Root can survive. So it's a risky play for Hawk to place his Gorilla in the bar row when he can place it in the mid row and try to be aggro and kill Bone. But he decided to take down the Hoary Root. And that was the play for him to take down the last game for himself. And that would be a clean 3-0 sweep from Hawk. So, yes, and Hawk didn't change his deck since the beginning. So he's running just 1 deck. So congratulations for advancing into top 16. And I believe someone said they wanted to watch Draken's game. So it looks like Draken is struggling here because the match scores were 2-2, or I should say are 2-2, and this is going to be the last game for both of them. I think it would be super nice if there's a tournament for lower deck power players, so not only top ranked players can enjoy the excitement of contest. I believe there are unofficial tournaments. That's yes, that's for lower deck power players. But yes, those are not official tournaments. So if you are talking about official tournaments for lower deck power players, then maybe we gotta wait for the maybe you gotta wait for the Era7 team to come up with a system for that. Alright, and just that last turn. It looks like Draken is being quite brutal in terms of cleaning up the board. And both of them got 3 cards in hand. But Draken's board is looking way much stronger because the Horuru is a monster right now. 32 attack and 48 HP beast with a level 5 black gold, cleaning up the mid row for the Horuru. Alright, we can see portrait being played here. While Alan is going to play Ice Conversion and a Gorilla here, but the Gorilla is just going to die without doing anything because the Horuru is too strong of a opponent for the Gorilla. So now Draken has 4 cards while Alan only has 2. Alright, and Draken is going to play another portrait here, along with a level 5 Magic Storm Golem. And that is going to penetrate through the top row. And the Horuru is cleaning up the mid row as well. So now Alan has only 1 card that he just draw, while Draken still has 3, and Alan's HP is down to 4. I would say there's pretty much no way for Alan to come back here. But Alan is not going to surrender here. He is going to show his sportsmanship and play it till the end here. And yes, the Magic Storm Golem is going to take down the game here. Alright, even though it was a very intense fight between Alan and Draken, it looks like Draken is going to take down the victory here. But it's still very well played by Alan, I would say, since Alan is also a city player. And his battle power is also basically 1k lower than Draken. Only 15 away from 1k, so 985 lower. Congratulations for Draken. And there is a brand new live game going on. So let's check out the fight between Demon and Phil. Demon or Diamond? And meanwhile, let's read the chat. And yes, I believe Senta was making some tournaments for low power decks. So that is correct. And in terms of nerfing the flower, I think the flower is it might be a strong card, but I don't think it's a card that needs to be nerfed because um most of the time the problem of the flower is that the flower can't really beat the top tier decks. So um okay, I think the game bugged out, so I'm just going to quickly re-enter the room here. And yes, going back to the flower topic, if there is a tier list, the flower deck, or I should say any decks that builds around the flower is probably around tier 2. And most of the time, those T2 Flower 2 decks cannot really beat the T1 decks. But the T1 decks are not very consistent. Most of the time they will just shine for maybe a month or so, and then it will got nerfed because a lot of players are going to complain about the power of those T1 decks. And then the core cards of those T1 decks will go into the 𝙬, and they will just be nerfed into. Wow. I was a very savage round by Phil with his Winter God. Alright, and that's the first game. Let's wait for the second game. And yes, most of the time the T1 core cards go into the 𝙬, and then after the nerf, most of the T1 cards will just be like T3 or even T4, or just people just don't even play those cards anymore. And when that happens, people just going to play the T2 decks because they are not going to be nerfed. And I would say the most common T2 decks are like the flower decks. So I don't really think the flower needs to be nerfed. It's more about the team needs to um think it through before they put cards into the 𝙬 and nerf them into nothing. That would actually be the problem here, because the T1 decks are consistently changing, and I'm not saying you should not nerf T1 decks, but most of the time, after a single round of nerf, the T1 decks just become, yes, as I mentioned earlier, T3, T4, or just you don't even see people play them anymore, and that is not very healthy. Yeah, it's like let's say you have like a decent budget, but you are not rich, so maybe you can build a deck. Then if you build a T1 deck, then what's going to happen is that you build a T1 deck, you play maybe tournament season 2, and then your deck is going to be nerfed into T3, T4, or just absolutely garbage. Then you will have to come up with another deck. And after the nerf, your deck is probably going to drop in terms of price. And that's a very big problem because now if you didn't do well on the tournament, then you pretty much just lose value in your deck. And on the other hand, if you didn't build a T1 deck, you build a T2 deck, such as the flower deck, then the Era7 team is going to focus on the T1 cards. Their nerfing or 𝙬 options are going to focus on those T1 cards. So they won't really focus on the T2 decks. So your T2 decks will be doing fine, and you can keep playing your T2 decks. So if you are not very rich, or you just have a fixed amount of budget, then you will want to go for a T2 deck. So maybe that's why you will see a lot of flowers being played in the tournament. I would say it's looking quite good for Demon right now. Um, because the bamboos got buffed up by Hymn of Light, I believe. Yes, by a level 5 Hymn of Light. But we do know Theo is running the late game control cards with mostly frozen. So he got, I think, Ice Dragon, Winter God, Ice Mountain, stuff like that. So I would say there is a time problem for Demon. Demon needs to try and kill Theo before the game goes into um 8 or 9 mana. Oh, Demon is like Russian nickname from the name Dima. I see, I see. Which is yeah, which makes a lot of sense due to the flags. Okay. I would say it's looking really bad for Demon right now because he is trying to speed up the game by sweeping the Deathless Spirit away. But that's not enough damage to lethal feel here. And the top row attack is looking bad because Annabelle is a good buffing card, but it just got played last turn, and we already see a level 4 Ice Age in Field's hand. And the frozen blocks are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there are 7 blocks here. That means it's going to -7 attack. But Phil is not going to play the Ice Age here. He is going to play the Ice Mountain first. Interesting. I would say maybe Ice Age is a better play before Ice Mountain, but playing Ice Mountain first might not also be a bad play because I would say it could force Demon to play more creatures here to try and finish the game as soon as possible. And if Theo can do a decent damage control, then as long as he can make sure he doesn't die, he can play Ice Age in a much better timing. So because Ice Mountain was played, so there were more frozen blocks than when we counted last time, which was 7. And that since there were more frozen blocks, so the Ice Age's minus effect is much stronger. And I think Deathless Spirit just died. Yes, the Deathless Spirit just actually died. So Demon is quite lucky on the last turn because there's this is a level 4 Deathless Spirit, so there's only a 5% chance, and he got that 5% chance. But the Winter Guard is going to play. Yes, the Winter Guard is going to be played here when there's. Let me see. There's 16 frozen blocks. So this is a super strong Winter God. But Demon saved that Judgment Day until now. And that is going to clear up the Winter God. But Theo kind of knew that and played the Death Roll. So he could still have Skeleton Warriors on the top row here. And that dealt 9 damage. And after a turn of buff, the Skeleton Warriors are now 12 damage on the top row, which is exactly enough to kill Demon. So Demon is trying to survive here by playing the Bamboo Forest and Hymn of Flight. And he's lucky enough that one of the bamboo is summoned at the top, but only one bamboo is not enough. And that bamboo is going to be killed by the Skeleton Warriors. So even though there's only 10 damage on the top row, Demon is still trying to come back here. But it looks like a 2 mana sweep is not going to make that miracle happen. So since Phil is running Ice Age, I would say Ice Age is a super hard counter to Demon's Empire Zen deck. So it's quite hard for Demon to win against Phil, even if Phil is playing a little bit weird or have some little mistakes. The only way that Demon win is probably um perfect place plus Phil is lacking Ice Age, I would say, yeah. If Demon plays well and Theo cannot draw into Ice Age, then there's still a chance for Demon. Alright, and you'll probably play Winter Speller the first turn, and then play the Ice Recruiting. And Demon play something. Demon play something turn 2, which I don't know what exactly was that. And then turn 3, or I should say mana 3, he play Imperial Logistician. And he's going to protect the Logistician with Caroline here. But the Logistician is not going to heal Demon because the attack is -1 right now. But the Sword Tower is going to make it back to 0. And if Sword Towers can hit field in the face one more turn, then Logistician can actually start healing up. But Demon's HP is already down to 17 when he is supposed to be the aggro side, while Theo is the control side in this match. So it's looking really bad for Demon right now. And it's a Bamboo Forest into Death Row. And Death Row is definitely stronger than the Bamboo Forest. So Demon is able to clear up the mid row here with a total of 1 attack in his board, and Theo has 14, Theo has 17 here. And just looking at the top row, these 2 Reborn Skeleton is enough to kill Demon next turn. And Theo's solution to the skeletons are the Deer Sage W effect in the front. And that is going to kill 2 Skeleton Warriors. And also one of the Reborn one, but that is not enough to deal with the Winter God, the bot row. And not surprising at all, because this is like a hard counter match. So it's a very clean 3-0 sweep by Phil. And congratulations for Phil advancing into the top 16 here. And let's see. 500. And okay, this is looking interesting. I am going to check this out. Even though this is a Zen Frozen deck. So it's probably like a Lin deck or Tempo Priest deck, but it only has 2.8, yeah, 2.8k bell power, so maybe the average card levels are not going to be too high. As we can see, the Peach Festival is only level 1, but this 2.8k bell power deck is able to take down a win from Y, when Y is running a, I think, 3 point something k bell power deck. And yes, not surprisingly, we see Tempo Priest here, but somehow Hexproof was being burned to play 2 Tempo Priests. But since Stocky has 5 cards in his hand, I believe there's still 1 more Hexproof, if not 2 more in his hand. But we do see an Ice Mountain in White's hand. And White is going to play the Winter Fighter here with 9 armor and try to take down the Tempo Priest. But the level 2 sweep actually sweep the adjacent ally, or I should say sweep the adjacent enemy. But unfortunately, the target wasn't Winter Fighter, but the Frozen Corpse. So Saki,'s Hexproof Tempo Priest had to die there. And Saki is trying to come up with the second win solution, which is Lin, the Flowing Blade. But Lin is going to be killed by the 2-mana Frozen Iron Soldier here. So his second win condition seems to be missing up. So Saki lost his first win condition, which is the Temple Priest. And he also lost his second win condition, which is Lin. So he's trying to come up with third winning condition, which is a third Temple Priest. And since Saki played 2 Tempo Priests earlier, this is his last Tempo Priest. But before he can even buff up this Tempo Priest, the Ice Dragon is going to take the game here. Alright, so it's a 1-1. Y won the first game, Saki won the second, and Y won the third. So if by this order, maybe Saki is going to win, or Saki is going to win the fourth game. And alright, here is the fourth game. Let's see. Right, and there's a lot of discussion going on in the chat since we know both of their decks, so maybe we can look into the chat for now and let's see. Oh, it's about the 𝙬. Yes, the 𝙬 actually always launch in a short notice. It's not, I would say the time range is not very good. It could be better for sure. And yes, I agree with that. Players who hold lots of ERA can easily decide the direction of the nerf or buff. And yes, I agree with that. Some given options are not helping balancing the game at all. Sometimes when you open the 𝙬 and you see the options, you would be like, why are you doing this? Why is this card even in the 𝙬 options? And yes, that's right. Having having one more 𝙬 right after everyone spend most of their votes is very weird. It's like they use the earlier 𝙬 trying to scam all your votes so that you will have no votes in the next 𝙬. It's quite weird, I would say. Maybe it's not intended like that, but it does give players that kind of feeling. Okay, I believe it the spectator mode blocked again. Alright, and we blocked into a winter god here. But this time it's only 9-6, which is a very cute winter god. A baby winter god. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, game freezes a lot. I know exactly what you're talking about. There are a lot of options that are looking good only on bots. Like it's like options for bots to vote. And I don't know if bots have votes or not, but probably not. Oh, interesting. I just saw a good news, and it's for the viewers. So it looks like let me see. Yes, it looks like there's going to be Spirit Master reward. So as everyone can see on the top, I believe it's like around here. Like yes, Spirit Master. They are going to give out rewards for, or I should say, they give rewards to the Era7 team. And yes, and our the team is going to give it to the viewers. So if you're listening to this right now, make sure you leave comments after today's stream, and I will probably do a, well, so that's a 2-2. Saki actually won that game by this order. So maybe Saki has a chance. Yeah, anyway, so just leave any comments in the comment section after the streaming ends. And I'll probably do a poll. Yeah, I'll probably do a poll next stream. And there is going to be 2 free MasterCard. Yeah. Is it MasterCard? I don't know if it's MasterCard or not, but it looks like MasterCard. But for Spirit Master. Alright, and this is the last game. Match point for both White and Stucky. So is the game is going to go by the winning order. So White is going to take down the very last game, or Stucky is going to break that order and win the 5th game. Actually, I'm gonna type it out. Yes, I'm gonna type it out. Actually, let's finish this game. I will finish this very last game between Saki and White, and I'm going to type out the poll in the chat. We'll give away MasterCard or give a Spirit Masters NFT. It looks like Spirit Masters NFT. So not Era7's MasterCard, but Spirit Masters. Alright, it looks like Stucky cannot deal with the Ice Dragon and has to surrender here. So White is going to take down the victory of this intense fight. So congratulations on White for advancing into the top 16 here. Alright, let me just type this down. Well, no matter what kind of rewards they are going to give out, it looks like they are going to give out something. So make sure you leave some comments after the streaming ends, and you will probably get something. Let me see. Let me see. Leave Era7 the moon. Let me see. Chance of winning free Spirit Master NFT. Alright. So just type Era7 to the moon in the comment section after the streaming ends. And I will do a poll after, yeah, I'll do a poll before I start into broadcasting. Next live streaming. That would be the plan for now. And I think I can pin the message, so I'm going to pin the message. Alright. And this is looking quite interesting. So let's look into 𝙂𝙧𝙪𝙩𝙝 versus Wang Jinfa. And very classic, very classic. Horiru in an academic deck. Protecting it to be Magic Obelisk. Finish the stream now. I have to go, but no problem, no problem. We will finish the stream after this game. After this game. It probably won't take long because it's a very classic aggro versus control. Victory again, 𝙂𝙧𝙢𝙚, sweet. That is looking good. Okay, the Phantom Bear survived the Thunder Inferno and is going to take down both 𝙂𝙖𝙖 and the Reaper. And the 𝙂𝙖𝙖 was not strong enough to take down the Phantom Bear. It only had 2 attack. So if 𝙂𝙖𝙖 wasn't played in front of the Reaper could actually kill the Phantom Bear. So now 𝙂𝙧 could not deal with the bot row, I would say. Or it's not a good choice to put anything in the bot row here. But mid row has a Hexproof Caroline and top row has a Shroud Flower. So it's looking quite bad for 𝙂𝙧 here. But 𝙂𝙧 is going to play the Devouring Garage to make sure that he has that 7 more HP and lowering Wang Jinfa's HP down to 5. So 𝙂𝙧 has 3 cards in his hand and he's running Inferno Frozen, so I believe there's a good chance that he has face damage spell cards. And Wang Jinfa is looking in danger right now since he's only at 5 HP. Even though the Hoary Root looks like is strong enough to win him the game, but that is based on if he can survive this turn. And it looks like he is able to survive this turn. And 𝙂𝙧 also burned a card, which is the Death Roll. Okay, interesting. So he played the Blood Pool and the Winter Knight. So 𝙂𝙧 has 1 more card in his hand, which is the one that he just draw into. And let's see if it's a face damage spell card. And no, it's a ice conversion. So that means the victory goes to Wang Jinfa. Alright. The first game goes to Wang Jinfa. And maybe 𝙂𝙧 has a second deck. So we might see 𝙂𝙧 changing his deck, or maybe he only brought one deck and he's going to play only one deck. Alright, here's a live, and as we can see, Alton's deck bell power goes from 60 to 20, so that's 40 lower. So he did actually change the deck with 40 less bell power. Very interesting. The bell power didn't go up, but actually go down, even though only by 40. Oh, and this is a new card, Soul Curse. Very strong, but it was already burned. Oops, that was a misclick. Quickly re-enter the room. Okay. So Wang Junfa is going to put the Horrible in the front. Very interesting. To protect, I think, Obelisk and the Scholar of Divination. But Wang Junfa's HP is actually down to 21 when Alton has 6 more cards in his hand. And don't forget that Alton's race has Inferno in it. So, um, getting your HP lower to, I would say, under 15 is very bad. It So we are waiting for Sainta's game. So I think okay, Judgment Day is going to be played here. So Horu is going to be the only one on the board right now. For Sainta's game, I think probably not a big deal. We can probably see Sainta in the games later on as well because he will be there for sure, I think. Alright, and that Horu is going to one-shot Alton here. So Wang Junfa is actually winning 2 games in a row even after Alton changed his deck. So let's see if Alton changes his deck back again or he's going to run this one. And it looks like he's going to run the same one, which is the one with slightly less spell power. Why am I not commenting more games? Maybe because there's still more stuff that I have to do. But I would definitely comment all of the games when there are not I would say 8, around 8. I'll try comment every single game when there's like maybe 4 games in a day or 8 games in a day. Okay. Not surprising at all. We see a whole review and Wang Junfa holding his Judgment Day. But Alton sees that Judgment Day and is going to discard the Judgment Day with his Evil Eyes. Well played by 𝙂𝙀𝙪 here. Whether playing the 𝙂𝙖𝙢𝙪 is because he intended to save his 𝙂𝙖𝙢 until he sees Judgment Day or not, that 𝙂𝙖𝙢𝙪's play was perfectly, I would say, crushing Wang Junfa's plan of Judgment Day and Holy Root combo. Alright, and that's a level 5. Yes, the level 5 Guardian is going to take down the Caroline. The 𝙂𝙀𝙪 has 4 more cards. I should say 4 cards, so 2 more than Wang Junfa. And Wang Junfa also is only at 22 HP, so I would say it's looking good for 𝙂𝙀𝙪. At this much better than the first and second game here. Yes, his wild plan is being very wild. Growing into 32 attack and 40 HP is a super strong beast. And yeah, the giveaway, it looks like there is going to be 2 winners. So if there's only like, let's say 6 comments, then that's like a 33% chance of winning the giveaways, which is very high, I would say. 33% chance to win the giveaway. Alright, and here we see the very classic Evil Flame. Finally a turn that 𝙂𝙀𝙪 showing us the power of Inferno, which is the Evil Flame. One-shotting the Wang Junfa here. Alright, is this going to be the start of flipping the table by 𝙂𝙀𝙪, or that was just the only lucky game for 𝙂𝙀𝙪? Here comes the 4th game. Can 𝙂𝙀𝙪 draw into Evil Flame in this game? And perhaps next game as well if he is able to win this one. Alright. Templar Knight. And maybe a Holy Root. Okay, no Holy Root. But a level 3 Kaido. But the Soul Curse actually hit the Templar Knight, so there's no healing for Wang Junfa. And the Kaido is going to be turned into the Ghost Bowling form. So Wang Junfa needs to burn a card to make sure Kaido goes back into the Kaido form. But it looks like Wang Junfa didn't want to burn a card, so he played only Caroline. And 𝙂𝙀𝙪 played the Bloody Ghost in the bot row to discard a card for Wang Junfa, and I think that's a very well played because Wang Junfa has 3 mana left last turn. So if that card that just got discarded by Bloody Ghost was under 3 mana, that was a very good discard from the Bloody Ghost. And Wang Junfa is, I would say, lucky, kind of lucky, because he draws into Phantom Bear, and that Phantom Bear is enough to take down the Bloody Ghost. Alright, but 𝙂𝙀𝙪 runs into the death row, dominating the top row here, and the Phantom Bear has to die because there's no creatures in the bot row. So now Wang Junfa is actually in big trouble. And Templar Knight is his only shield in the top row right now, and is not going to block all the damage in the top row. And the Guardian is going to add 8 damage from the bot row, and that is enough to take down the 4th game. Alright. and Wang Junfa has been running the same deck, and Alton's running the slightly less barrel power deck. And it's match point for both of them, and they are still running. Oh, actually, the fourth game, Wang Junfa changed his deck to a 100 less barrel power one, but now he changed it back. So maybe because Wang Junfa lost the fourth game and he thinks that slightly less barrel power one is not a very good one when fighting against Alton, so he switched it back. Alright. A Silenced Envoy is not going to win a solo match against Caroline for sure. So maybe Alton is going to look for a chance to kill Caroline by placing another creature behind the Envoy, or just going to try and take control of the top and mid row. Okay, so Alton's decision is to take control of the bottom row, as well as protecting the Envoy, and Wang Junfa is going for the risky play of playing Holy Root straight up without any protection in front of it. And I would say that risky play is worth it because now Wang Junfa's Holy Root is looking good on the top row chilling. And Wang Junfa didn't play his Phantom Bear in front of the Holy Root as well, which is another risky play. He is trying to take down the Ice General here. But that Ice General got instantly killed by the Ice Conversion. And that Ice Conversion also deal 4 more damage in. And the Ice Corpse is also summoned in the mid row, so it didn't get killed by the Holy Punishment in the bar row. And that is enough damage to take down Wang Junfa. That Ice Conversion is the key card that win this match. Alright, that's a very intense fight between Alton and Wang Junfa. And congratulations to Alton for advancing into top 16. And yes, that's it for today's stream. And before we end our stream, gotta thank the sponsors as usual, which is BNB Chain, Spirit Master, Biosyn, and Izumi Finance. And again, don't forget to leave Era7 to the moon in the comment section after the streaming ends, because there's going to be a giveaway of 2 winners. So I will do a poll before I go into the games in the next streaming. That will be the plan for now. Alright, and that's it for today. Thanks everyone for watching. Goodbye and see you tomorrow.